This is Catholic Forum. I'm Stephanie Kelton, the Fund Development and Public Relations Manager. Today I'm speaking with Stacy Brooks, who is the Program Manager for Bayard House, the only fully licensed program serving homeless, transitional, pregnant, or newly parenting minors and young women in Delaware. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
You too.
So, Stacy, I know you've been here since October of last year, and you had a background working in low-income housing before this position.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the transition and how your experiences prepared you for this role.
Well, I've been working in human services for a good over 15 years now, and it was funny because I actually went to college for accounting. So I was expecting to be in the back room just, counting things. But once I started working with people, I was like, I really, really, like the idea of working with people. So the transition, even from low-income housing to the Bayard House, wasn't a huge one, because I know I would still be helping some people.
Yeah, you were definitely the right person for the job. You have such a good way with people, and you're so warm and outgoing.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I'm glad you weren't sitting in the back office typing up financial reports.
Right.
What services are provided at Bayard House, and how did the program get started?
So outside of being a shelter, we also make sure that any of the pregnant young ladies get their prenatal care. Pregnant and or parenting, they also get parenting skills. We make sure to get parenting skills, life skills. A family atmosphere is, what we're really trying to create for the families.
So this is a residential program, and you accept pregnant teens and young women aged, 12 to 27?
12 to 27,
Okay.
yes.
Preparing for childbirth.
Right. As well as being able to get themselves together to go back out on their own.
Okay.
Yes.
So some of the things at the Bayard House are you have staff around the clock there to assist, 3 meals a day.
Yes.
Programs and referrals to provide training on job search, money management.
Yes, we work
education.
with West End. They do have the education and employment programs there. So they can even help someone get their GED, as well as job skills, job assessments.
Well, you said that you also provide parental and child care training.
So we work with Child Inc.
Yes.
as well, for parenting skills, and Stand By Me for financial literacy.
Okay. Are those programs done at Bayard House, or are they done elsewhere?
We first have them come to do a workshop just to present, what they have to offer, and then we connect them with them to go to their facilities to do one-on-one.
Okay. And so what is a typical schedule for one of your residents?
So we have them to get up, get dressed at least by 8 o'clock in the morning. If they're not working or, going to school, some have to leave earlier than that in the morning. And they take their child to daycare, and then they get free to do, what they need to do to be productive for the rest of the day. So whether that's going to work, going to school, getting job skills, going to social services, to get any of their benefits that that are available to them, or house searching, and if they're not doing any of those things, then they should be volunteering, but they need to be productive throughout the day.
Okay.
Then everybody reconvenes around dinner time, have a family dinner together. They all partake in chores, and then it's ready for bedtime.
Okay. And what is the support system among the mothers there?
They really do encourage one another. Some have a little bit more life experience than others and can share some of their mistakes and some of their successes. So I think that really help each other to get on track of what they need to do.
I know you've in some of our previous discussions, you've talked about how the staff or even the other mothers will sometimes say to a mother who's struggling with the child, take a minute, I'll watch the child, or I'll help you cook, or something.
Absolutely. Because sometimes that mother needs that time out,
Yeah.
It could be very stressful, just being in a situation that they're in, even having to be in a shelter, and
Right.
it can be very frustrating if they're not as far as long as they expect to be or as they want to be. So sometimes they just need that minute, to go spruce themselves up, have that good cry, and then come back and, be able to take the next step.
Yes. What aspects of Bayard House's approach make it effective in helping families regain independence?
Again, with the life skills, when we're telling them to be up and ready by 8 o'clock, they're like, why? I don't have anything to do today. But it's all a part of getting you prepared for when you do have to be up and ready and out the house, for that job. They do learn some, cooking skills if they don't learn how to cook, but quite a few of these girls can cook us under the table, especially me. And to learn budgeting, to budget, with their food stamps now, then eventually with their income, to start a savings plan. So all those, types of things. And then we can also work with them, like if they were to find an apartment, how to budget that in as well. So all those things help to, them to become more independent.
What is the follow-up and support after the child is born?
Definitely within the first 6 weeks, we definitely keep an eye on a mother, make sure that they're caring for the mother, caring for the child to the best of their ability, and
Yes.
anything that they need help with, we're there to guide them along, making sure that they're going to their follow-up appointments, with the baby and everything. Again, that's where the parenting skills classes come in, that can help along with that, as well as, our prompting. And I think that's, very helpful to them. And then, again, having other young mothers to be able to step in and assist as well.
I know it's very powerful to hear firsthand about the challenges these young women face. Let's listen for a moment to an interview with one of these mothers as she tells her story.
Okay, sounds good.
I feel like if the Bayard House was not here, I don't feel like I would have my children, and I don't know where I would be. I've been going through a lot since she was born. Being homeless, it takes up a lot of your time and attention. Like just things as simply as where you're gonna go use the bathroom, where you're gonna go take your next shower. So the longest I've stayed in my car was about 3 months. It's definitely not ideal. Most places don't like you being homeless. If you do park somewhere, you could get in trouble. You have to be up early, like 5 in the morning, and be in and out. And you have to get there late so nobody really notices. But yeah, it's definitely a struggle. Even brushing your teeth, doing laundry, things like that, it's a lot. Your kids need certain things like stability. They need a roof over their head. They need meals. They need constant love and attention. If you don't have a support system, it's really hard.
This home is based on the idea that this mother has decided to give her child a chance. Having that pro-life ministry here gives them that opportunity, gives them the care, and that we have their best interests at heart for her to have a healthy child. They chose life for their child.
For a lot of women and children, this is a life-changing experience. So I have a whole wardrobe for my kids and things that I wouldn't have to buy. They gave me a brand new car seat for my daughter. It was a $200, $300 car seat. They just gave everybody a car seat. I guess somebody donated brand new car seats out the box. So that was very helpful because, she was in a car seat that was too little for her, and they gave me just a brand new one. It was so nice. Not everybody has support, so for the outside community to show you love and to show you that they see what you're going through and that you're not alone, that means everything.
Stacy, in the video that we just shown, one of the comments you made was, this home is based on the idea that this mother has decided to give her child a chance. The pro-life ministry here gives them that opportunity to have a healthy child. they chose life for their child. Talk a little bit about the pro-life ministry at Bayard House and how important that is in the diocese.
Oh, that is one of their most significant ministries in the diocese of pro-life, and it is, what we look to help them with. That this is the most important person that you're bringing into a life. That you're going to have reign, or you're going to have the influence on this child, to be the best person that they can be. And so you're giving them that chance to do that.
As a mother yourself, how has this personally affected you to work with these young mothers and provide guidance and be a role model to them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and I'm a single mother myself, and my son brought so much joy into my life. Even if it wasn't prepared, to have the child at the time, but when God has a plan for you and has a plan for that child, and you see the significance of it, because my son now is going to a school, it's a missionary school, so I
Wow.
see the plan on his life, and so I'm just so grateful for God allowing me to be that vessel, to bring him into the world and to see what he's capable of doing.
That's nice. You can share firsthand with these young women of your own experience then.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've told them about, or even having to go to social services and, trying to get any benefits that I needed, or, the help that I needed, having the support, of my family, and everything. So absolutely,
Yes.
me and a lot of the other staff all have that to share with them as well.
One of the things that the mother we just heard in the video talk about was having lived in her car for 3 months. And she mentioned that most places don't like you being homeless. It's really not allowed anywhere. It struck me that this woman had nothing and no home and was then penalized for having nothing.
Right.
She said if it wasn't for Bayard House, she didn't know where she would be or if she would have her children.
That's one thing that strikes me with a lot of homeless people is that, they won't even give a homeless person a job because they have nowhere to have an address. And it's like, well, you need a job in order to get an address. So it's like you need some type of help, in some kind of way. So yes, for her, this has been a godsend for her, now that she's employed now. And, they're able to make better decisions for her and her children.
Some of the other things that she has shared with us in a prior conversation was talking about how it's difficult to find places to use the bathroom, to brush your teeth, to do your laundry, and how when she was living in her car, she had to arrive at a parking spot be out of there by 5 a.m. and find things to occupy herself with throughout the day, and then come back after dark, after 11 o'clock, so she wouldn't be caught.
Right,
She
right.
said many times she was awakened by a knock on the car window telling her she had to move. It's really hard to imagine having to live that way, and especially if you have a baby on the way.
Right, absolutely. Now, at the Bayard House, I've actually heard some of the young ladies call it home, so that they feel like it is a safe haven for them. Mm-hmm. And, somewhere that they can come and, they have their bathrooms, they have laundry, that they can use. They can even cook their own meals, so it is more of a, home, for them compared to the alternative.
And how long can a resident stay there?
They can stay for at least a year.
Okay.
So that gives them a chance to get up on their feet, and especially to create some savings for themselves, especially if they're trying to get their own place. And I know that is very hard to do, but and thankfully we also, with the Catholic Charities, they can also apply for help with security deposit and first month's rent. So at least they also have that to lean on as well.
That's good to know.
Yes.
And what do you find that a lot of the women are having the same struggles when they're coming to you? Is this mother's story typical?
It is pretty typical. We find a lot of, might be having issues at home, and just butting heads, with other family members or what have you. So they all seem to have somewhat similar stories. Of course, there's always going to be that one thing that makes it different from one mother to another. Mm-hmm. But ideally, it's pretty much typical.
How many residents can Bayard house at once?
We can do 7 families. So that'll be 7 moms and 7 children, ideally. So like 14 would be the total capacity.
Okay. And what are the credentials of your staff and your team there?
The credentials really is just being able to want to work with this population, for one. But we make sure that they get training in trauma-informed care, CPR, first aid training, other trainings, education-wise, like early childhood education, just to help with,
ages and stages
the ages, stages,
exactly, and stuff, what to expect,
right,
the first year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. So if someone is listening is interested, what is the first step in accessing services, and how do you determine eligibility?
They can reach us through 211. We get many calls from hospitals, even like behavioral mental health facilities give us a call. But, and they could just call us directly on their own.
And so what is the best number to call the Bayard House then, the 302-654-1184?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And as far as funding of the Bayard House, what can you share about how the ministry is funded?
It's funded mostly through CDBG funds,
grants,
through the city and through Newcastle County. And then we have a federal grant for runaway homeless youth. And we have a grant and aid, but we're always still in need of additional monetary needs.
Donations.
Yes.
So I know that we've partnered with the Kiwanis Club of Wilmington and with the Knights of Columbus local and state councils. They've been generous supporters of Bayard House, as well as many other local pro-life organizations. If you're listening and you would like to support the operations at Bayard House, you can organize a diaper drive, baby food drive, baby clothing drive, baby shower, any of those things. And you would need to call Bayard to schedule drop-off of those items. But Bayard House is located right at 300 Bayard Avenue in Wilmington. Stacey, I know you're also part of the National Diaper Bank Network, which is open to the public. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. We take donations of diapers, and then we're able to distribute them to the public. So it's not just those who are in the Bayard House. So you just need to make an appointment. We help to provide diapers for children up to the age of 3. And we have it where they could come on a monthly basis to pick up diapers.
And these would be disposable diapers?
These are disposable diapers, and wipes as we have them as well.
And wipes, okay. Right now, I know we're also seeking funding for renovations on the kitchen and bathrooms and new hand railing on the stairs.
Yes.
To make it child-proof.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about, health and safety, for the children. So we just, need to upgrade, like our cabinets and, make sure that they're not able to get into them, easily. And of course, definitely the safety, on the stairs is a huge
so I would imagine child-proofing is a big issue.
Oh, absolutely.
Once they're walking, once they're crawling and walking.
And we have one that just started walking within the last week, so she's on the move.
It's such a fun place to visit. I know when I've been there, it's really, really exciting to see the children there and to realize that, like you said, the mother chose to give them life.
Yes.
And what a testimony.
You're right.
That the Bayard House is there to provide that structure and that support.
Absolutely.
To deliver full-term healthy babies and to strengthen families.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you find most rewarding about working there?
Of course, they don't like rules, of course, and as, any young adult, that is understandable. But then they also come to appreciate it, or even when we're pushing them to get certain things done. But these are things that they say that they want to do. So we there and we'll help to push them. And then the excitement they come back when they, say they get that job, that we've helped them, prepare for, or, what have you. So, so that's always, a reward. And then you also have the mother who was able to get her own place, when she first came, when one of the mothers first came into the program, she had her child probably like a month later. And then almost a month later after that, she able to secure a job and maintain it for a whole year. She was able to keep up some savings, and I know early on that she also had put her name on some apartment complexes, and so her name popped up to the top on 2 of those places, and she was able to secure one. So now she's been in that apartment now for at least 6 months.
Wow.
Going on to a year. Oh, it's probably almost a year now. Yes.
That's a great example of a success story.
Yes.
And then is her child in daycare then? Or does she have
the
someone
child
else
was already in,
daycare?
It was in daycare, and it was near her job as well as, and it turned out to be near where she ended up finding an apartment. So it worked out really well for her.
How does daycare work at the Bayard House for those who are still residents there? You don't have one on site.
Right, we don't have one on
site. Anyone
site.
in particular?
No, we don't.
Okay.
But there are quite a few in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
There are quite a few. So we just make sure that they hit those that are nearby.
Right.
So that they're able to walk them there themselves, and so that's a blessing for the area that we're in, that there are quite a few daycares right there.
And what about baby equipment? I'm sure you need high chairs and strollers and bouncy seats and cribs.
Yeah, because they go through them, So it's like we have some, but then we need more to come in, especially even for safety reasons that about how old they are, So
Right.
so we always need to have them upgraded as we go along. So yes, any of those type of items we will take as a donation.
Do you accept those if they're gently used, or only new items for baby equipment?
Gently used.
Gently
used. The
used,
only
okay.
ones that we would have to absolutely be new are car seats.
Oh, right.
Because we never know if they had been in a car crash or anything like that. So
Yes.
those are the only ones that we have to have absolutely new.
Okay. And that's a very large, beautiful house in a nice neighborhood. There's a church right nearby.
Yes.
It's 3 stories.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And so there are multiple
Plus a
bathrooms
basement.
and bedrooms,
Yes.
and the mothers would have their own bedroom.
They have their own individual bedrooms, and they could house up to 2 children,
Okay.
if they have them.
Uh-huh. And what are some of the other, accessories in the house that are available to them? I know there's the food as far as like a playroom and
Right,
things
there's
for
a
the children.
playroom that somebody created, a beautiful little room. Had the living room, have a dining room, and just places that that they can go and just relax, and also have a computer available to them as they need it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is there anything else we haven't covered, or anything else you want to share about the program?
It's just been a pleasure, to be there so far, and still looking forward to of more that we are able to do, for these young women, and I'm just excited to see what's to come with it.
Looking forward to the future.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, if you are listening and you'd like to make a financial contribution online with a credit card, you can visit our website at www.ccwilm.org. Click Donate and designate Bayard House as the recipient. There's also more information available there, or you can check out our Facebook page at Catholic Charities, Diocese of Wilmington. Checks can be mailed to the Development Office at P.O. Box 2030 in Wilmington. That's at 19899. And Catholic Charities delivers critical human services to residents of Delaware and Maryland's Eastern Shore without regard to religious affiliation. So your potential residents do not have to be Catholic to obtain services, and they don't have to be residents of Delaware or Maryland. You accept some clients from other states as well.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Well, Stacy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. This is Stacy Brooks, a program manager at Bayard House, a residential maternity home in Wilmington.